So first, before creating a new file, okay. So first we should understand the OOPS concept, right? What are the basic important interview questions and what are the important things we should know? Okay, that's we'll have a look. So first one is a Java class and objects. So we already know how to create a Java class as an object, right? So an object is nothing but it has a state and entity, that is state and behavior. Okay, so in Java class is nothing but is a blueprint for a object. So these are the some key points, so just make a note of it. So, so object, and also I'll send you this notes today. Okay, in any entity that has a state and behavior. Okay, and the class is nothing but it's a blueprint for the object. So we'll see some simple example. We already know this. To create a class, what we'll do? So we need a class and the name. So you can give whatever the name you want in this class name, and what are the fields you are going to give. So field and the methods you need to mention. So this is how it will be. So to create a class, you will be creating a class like this, right? So simply how you can create a class. So just go here, and I'm going to create a new Java project. So here, basics of Java. Okay. So and I'll save this file. Yes, I have this one. So here, go to the SRC file, just right click, and here you need to create a class. Okay, in this, you can give a name whatever you want. Okay, so I'm giving a name as bank. And if you want public static void main, just click on this and click finish. So this is how it will be. So how it is? So you have a, I'll change this name. Okay, so here you can see a class and this class name. So this is how we will be creating a class. Okay, we'll see some very simple example. So I told you, so we need to mention the field and method. So how we can give is, so example, I'll change this to a bicycle. Okay, and I don't want this to be a public, so I'll removing this. So this is a class bicycle, and I need some two things to be printed here. Just remove this. The first one is a state or field. In state or field, the first one is I'm giving a private, an integer. It's going to be an integer value. So gear equals to 5. Okay, so this is my variable name and this is a value, and this integer, it's a data type. Everyone is listening. Okay. Okay, this is a data type, and this is a access specifier. Okay, and just come down. You can have a behavior. That is behavior in the sense behavior or a method. In this behavior or method, I'm creating a simple method. So public void breaking. So this is my method name. So you should remember your class name should be in a camel case. Camel case means all the first character of a word should be in caps, okay, or uppercase. And methods, and one more thing is we have, sorry, this is a Pascal case. This is a Pascal case, and camel case is for is nothing but it will be, the first word will be in a lower case and the other first character of the word should be in a upper case. Okay. So this is a term. So now the Pascal cases applied for the classes. So I'll tell you what are the things we can apply. So for class, we can apply, and for the camel case, it is for method. Okay. And you can also give it for a variable also. Variable initialization you can do. So within this, I'm giving a system dot out dot println. Okay. Here I'm going to give some text. Okay. Working of breaking. Okay. So this is how it will be. So I'm just going to print. So just give it a double quotes here. So you can run this. Just go here, run configuration. So what is my class name is basics of Java, and then what is the method I have? Okay, better I'll give a main method also. Okay, so instead of giving this, so this is a basic template. Okay, I'll tell you some simple example. Okay, so this is a basic example to create. So this is a field and the method you need to import. And the next thing is what is Java object. So how we can create a Java object. So to create, so object is called an instance of a class. Okay? So for example, suppose the bicycle is a class, then I have some mountain bicycles and touring bicycle, etc. can be considered as the objects of a classes. So I'll tell you very simple example. To create an object, what you have to do is you need to mention the class name and then object equals to new operator and the class name. So this is how it will be. Okay. So for a bicycle class, so example, so bicycle is a class I have, and the variable I'm creating is a, and I'm giving a new operator, and the what is the class name? It's bicycle of. That's so this is how we'll be creating. Okay, and also one more important thing. So kindly please everyone upload your CV in LMS portal. Otherwise, you will not be getting any placements. Okay, so but if you face any issue in uploading your resume, that is your CV in LMS, please let me know. I'll help you. Okay, so before winding the class, we'll have some 10 minutes and we'll do it. Okay? And what is called a access member? What is called as an access member of a class? So we know how to code, but these are the terms we should remember. Okay, so first we know what is class, how to create a class, and what is how to create an object. And now we are seeing about the access. So we can use a name of objects along with the dot operator to access a member of a class. So how we are going to access? Let's see. Um, example. So we can take this example itself. Okay. So A. So I have a method called some breaking off. Breaking off. So this is how we'll be calling the method. And if you want to call the field, you can also call the field. So A dot, what is a field I have given? So gear. So you can call like this. So this is a field access and this is called a method access. So we'll see some simple example to turn on a light. Okay, with so Java classes and objects. So let's see how we can create it. So here I'm giving a name as lamp. Just click on finish. Okay. So in this place, I just have a class as lamp. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to store the value of light, sorry, value for a light, and then if it is true, no, if light is on, so if a light is on, it will be true. False if a light is off. Okay. So for this, what is this data type is all about? It's Boolean, right? So I'm creating a Boolean data type, and the variable name is on. So I already told you how the variable should be. It should be in a camel case. Okay, and so I'm creating a method now. So method to turn on the light. So now how I'm going to turn means, so void, and what is the method name? Turn on. So turn on off. So curly braces. Inside this I'm giving is on. The value is true. Okay. And mentioning system dot out dot println. So in this is on is true, right? So now if it is true, then what happened is something should be displayed here. For that, I'm giving so light on equals to is on. So like this, you need to print. So for the variables, you should not mention double quotes. Whatever the text you are going to print, for that alone you need to mention the double quotes. Otherwise, you should not mention. Okay. So what I've given is system is out.println and the light on. What is the error? Okay. So this is actually capsus O. Okay. And next one is I'm going to create one more method. So just copy this. So that method is to turn off the light. Okay, so here I'm changing this to FF and this gonna be a false. And I want this to be printed. Okay. So like this two methods are there. Now, so this entire thing has been closed. Here I'm creating a main method. So in this main method, what we'll do is, so here I'm going to call this method and fields. So how we discussed here. So like this, we are going to call. So first we need to create an objects. As of now, I'm done with the class name, that is fields and objects, right? So there is a field and there is a method. Now I'm creating a object. So how to create an object? So just go here and create a public static void main string arguments of. Okay, so within this, so I need to create object. Let okay. So example, what is the class name here? I mentioned it as a lamp. So you already know how to create an object. So class name and the class name. You should not mention the main class. You need to mention the that is super class which you given before. Okay, so just come here and give lamp, and then I'm giving a variable as let and new lamp off and give semicolon. So next, what you need to do is you need to create one more thing, one more variable. Just copy this and I'm creating halogen. Okay, so these are the two variables I've created. So now, after doing this, so here itself, I'm going to turn on the light type. So I'm going to turn on the light. How will you turn on? By calling the method turn on. Okay. So where is the what is the thing? So it is LED. So LED dot, what is the method name? Turn on, right? Here we have mentioned. So I'm going to turn on. So turn on off. The next thing is again, what else it here? It is halogen. So halogen dot turn off. Okay, so it is turn off. So let's check. Just right click on this. So I have a main method. Just click run. So here you can see if the light is on, it is true, and if the light is off, it is false. Okay, here. And the next thing is, so we know how to create a class and objects and the access member, right? So now we'll understand what is Java methods, how we can create it. Okay. So actually, the method is a block of code that performs a specific task. Okay. So there are two types of methods we have. So the one is user defined methods. The another one is a standard library methods. Okay, so these are the two methods. So first one is user defined method. So can create our own methods based on our requirements. So depend upon our requirement, we can create a method. So that is called as a user defined. But standard is nothing but these are a built-in methods. So let's check how we can do this. So to declare declaration of the Java methods. Okay, so it is nothing but what you need to do. So you need to give a return type. So what is a return type and the method name. So this is the way you will create a method and you will have a block of code what you're going to perform. Okay. So what is a return type? So example, for example, if a method has an int return type, then it returns an integer value. If the method does not return a value, its return type is void. It's if it is not going to return any value, then it is a void. And you need to mention the method name, identifier, and the method body. Okay. So calling a method in Java. So how we can call a method? So let's see some example. I'll create one more class in SRC file. So here I will give a name as main. Okay, so this is the file name, sorry, class name which I given. So now I'm going to create a method. So create a method. For this, so first I will give the that is return type. This is my access specifier, and then you need to mention the return type. So here the return type, it's going to be in an integer. So I given a data type as int. Okay, and add numbers. I'm going to add the two numbers. So here I will have some parameter values. Okay, because I'm going to add some two values. So integer a comma integer b. Okay, so within this, first is integer sum. I'm going to add some two values. How we can add? So a plus b. Okay, and what it returns is, it's going to return something, right? So it return sum. So this value is going to return. So here itself I'm mentioning it because this is a method. So first you understand the syntax alone. Okay, this is it. That is your return type and then method name, and this is your parameters. I'm going to give two values and I'm going to add this. So finally return the sum. So in this main method, what we are going to do in the main method? So public static void main string arguments of. So here I'm giving integer number 1 to be some value and integer number 2. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm giving a fields. What are the field value? So 15 here. So now create an object. So now here I'm creating an object of main. Okay, using that main, I already told you, using this main only you can create a what object. Using a superclass only you can create a object. So that is how it will be. So come down and here it is a main class and I'm giving a name as object. So new main of. Okay, what happened? Okay, later I'll try to rename it. This is refactor rename. Okay, so actually what is the error is it has already been given the main name. Okay, so after doing this, what you have to do, you have to calling a method. So how will you call the method? Using this object name. So object dot then what is the method we have given? Nothing but add numbers of. Okay, so that you need to mention. So here I'm giving what are the values, two values I'm going to call num1 and num2. Give semicolon. So before this you need to initialize to some value because it has been done, right? So here integer result is equals to object. So now I'm going to print this value, system dot out dot println. So here I will give the result. So let's run this. You can see the value. Okay. So this is what we will be doing. So if I give multiplication, so that can also be applied. Okay. So if example the method takes two parameter that is a and b, so we have called the method by pausing two parameters here. Okay. And we'll see Java method return type. So how it works. So example, the return type is nothing but you are giving return value, right? So that is, so this method has a return type. So return types means it may return or it may not return in Java cases. Okay, but we use the return statement to return any values. We are returning the variables since the return type of the function is integer. So the sum variable should be of integer type. Okay, otherwise it will generate an error. So if this is a case, I'm just removing this. So let's check so what happens. So it is showing an error because and add sum. So you need to return the value. So if you are doing it using a parameter. So method return types is very simple. And so how it will move us? Example, first will it will go to the method and then only it will return the value. Okay. And what is method parameters in Java? Okay. So method parameters in Java. So how we will do this? So actually, this is accepted by the methods. So for example, in the previous example itself, we have seen this, right? So we have given some parameters between some things. So example, I'll create one more class for you, okay, for better understanding. I'm giving a name as method parameters. So I've created this. So here, the first one is method with no parameters. There is no parameters there. And here I'm creating what is this? Public is access, and this is a return type. So return type is a void. Okay, it will not return anything. So I'm mentioning it as a void. So here display one off. In this method, I'm just simply giving system.out.println. Okay, here I'm just giving as method out parameter like this I'm mentioned. And next one is using a single parameter. So method with a single parameters. Sorry, single parameter. So here I'm giving one method. So that is public void and display. So in this the parameters integer a. Here system dot out dot println, and I'm giving here a name as method with a single parameter plus a. Okay, so here I'm trying to print the value. So what I will do, I don't have any value here. Where I will give this value in public, that is a main method. Okay, the main method only I'm going to give. So third one is public static void main string arguments of. Okay, So here what I will do is here I will assign the value for this integer a. So the first thing is you need to create a object. So how to create an object? What is a class name? So it is a method parameter. Just give here, and the object name I'm giving a new operate the new keyword, and again a class name of. This is the way you will create. Next you are going to calling a method with no parameter. Okay, so without no parameters, I'm just going to call. So how I'm going to call, what is the method name? So what is the object name? So it's this and the method semicolon. And then now just copy this. This is with a single parameter. Now it is display 2, right? So I'm just changing this to display 2. And here I'm giving some value. Example 50. Okay, let's check the output now. So see here, first one is the method without parameter and the method with a single parameter. The value has been displayed. So this is how it will be. Okay, so printing you are mentioning here, the value you need to assign it here. And the second one, I'll save this file. Next concept is, so this is a simple example. I'll just copy and paste it here. Okay. And the next one is a standard library methods. What are the standard library methods? Example. Okay. So example, if you go here, and this, this is my that is project I've created. So this two folder is there, right? So please click on this JRE. So you can see multiple numbers of JRE file will be there, right? So see here, there are so many. So in this we have some jar files. So this is called as a jar files, right? So these standard libraries come along with this Java class library. Okay. For example, a printf method, so which we are seeing here, right? System.println. So like this printf method is comes from the Java IO. So where is Java IO? Check. Okay, we search it here so we can find Java IO. So if you click on this here, you can see a Java IO, and here, yes. So here we have a thing called, so see here I have something called as print stream class. Okay, so this is useful to have a print statement. Okay, so this files have a what standard library methods. Okay, so we'll see a very simple example for this. I'll create one more class for this. So I'm giving a name as standard library. So this is the name. Here I'm just giving a main method because I'm just going to give a method alone, predefined method. So public static void main string arguments of. After this, so I'm going to use the square root method. sum dot out dot print. So here to delete this, I'm going to give the square. Just think about the method alone. Okay, so better give some name or string here. The square root of some m is. Okay, so now here I'm going to use the predefined method, that is math dot square root of m. So now we'll check the output. See here, this is the square root of that value. So advantages of using method is a code reusability and more readable and easier to debug. So that is the main thing. And so we have one more example. We also see that. So I'll just remove all these. Remove this. So we'll see an example for method. Okay. So method for code reusability. So how we are using for a that is we are using a code for reusability. So I'm going to define the method. So here what is a access specifier I'm using is private, and this is going to be a static integer. Okay. So in this place, this return type is integer get square. So what is the method name is I'm giving us get square and integer x. So inside this we'll be giving return x into x. I'm just multiplying this both. Public static void main arguments of. So here I'm going to get the value. So how will you do this? Using the for loop. So let's look into this. So this is a normal thing. So given access specifier, okay, the private and static, and here I mentioned the return type. Okay, so now get into the method. So here I'm going to mention a for loop. So integer I equals to 1. Okay, and I less than or equals to 5. So for 5 numbers, I'm going to calculate this. Okay, so equals to 5, and what it is I increment. So for loop is we already know. So this is initialization, this is condition, and this is increment. Okay, just open and close it. In this method call, so integer that is a return type. Here I'm giving a variable name as result. So get square of. What I'm doing is to call the method. First thing was I'm getting a return type. So return type and the result is what? Get square of. And inside this, I have initialized the I, right? So I'm mentioning that I variable. Okay. And then I want one by one to be get printed. First one is system dot out I plus. So I want to print a result. Okay, so understand this. So to reusability, what we do, so we are not, repeating the same, method for multiple times. I'm just giving the for loop and I'm getting the output. Just run this. You can see all the 5 numbers. So if we give 10, so it will print the 10 numbers. So just we'll remove and check what is the error you get. So nothing happens, and I'm giving here, suppose I'm changing this to be public. So what it shows, so cannot make the static reference, okay, to the non-static method get square from the type standard library. So we can't do that. Okay. So just we need to give it as a private and static. And next one is what is a Java method overloading. So we know what is standard library now. Java method overloading. Actually, if you're using some two or more methods, okay, may have the same name if they differ in a parameter. Okay, if they differ in the parameters, different numbers, different number of parameters, different types of parameters, or so this is called as a what? Java method overloading. Okay, so I'll tell you some example. Example, I have a void, okay, and giving a function name as function of, and I have some coding mentioned. And the next one is I'm creating one more function. Okay, so void function of, but I have a parameter there, but it's the same method name. Is it's my voice is audible for you? Okay. Next one is a float function. So here, see here, what the different type. So here it's a different type and the same method but different parameter. And again copy this. So here I'm mentioning this to be integer, comma float b. So here the function method is overloaded. So these method have the same name but accepts a different argument. So the return type of the above methods are not the same. So do I get the float value for this? No. So I'm going to get the integer value. And for this I will get a float value, right? So it differs. So why method overloading? So we need, so you have to perform some addition of a given number, but there can be any numbers of arguments. Let's say either two or three arguments for the simplicity. In order to accomplish the task, you can create a two method, sum to num, that is integer integer, and you can give multiples and three parameters respectively. So this is how you can do. So let's see some examples of how we can create or perform the method overloading. Okay. So this is the one method I've just given the method overloading. So here I'm going to perform some information. So let's see. The first thing is I'm going to create a method. Okay. So the first method is private static and the void. It will not return anything, so it is a void. And the parameter is integer a. So here system dot out dot println, giving some arguments. Let's copy this, and again I'm giving the same method, but what happens? I'm going to give some two parameters here. So integer b. In this one, I'm going to print some two values. In public static void main, so display of one. Okay. So one is going to display for the first one and display 1 comma 4. So two values. So wait a minute, showing some error. So let's check once again integer a, and then system.out.println. So arguments plus a. Yes, I've closed it. Private display integer a comma integer b. System.out.println. A plus. If I want to give some value string also, I can give. So we'll check what error. So here the method display in the type method overlaying is not applicable for the arguments integer. Yes. So here you can see the same thing has been repeated. So give me 1 minute. So it is not acceptable, right? So we'll try it one more example. Remove this. Okay, okay. So I'll try to create an object and I'll just call this. So method. It's giving some error. change this one. Give some two parameters what happens. So integer p. Okay. Yes. So I have not given a space. So that is a error. Just run this. So you can see the values has been displayed. So this is one type of thing. So which has the same data type. And the arguments differ. Okay. So overloading by changing the number of parameters. So next is method overloading by changing the data type of the parameters. So the first one we saw is changing the number of parameter. So now what you will do is you create one more class. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the data type. So data type on this and click on finish. Okay. So now here what I will do is so this method accepts integer. Okay, the first one is for integer return type. So here private static void a display. Okay, so here I'm giving one parameter that is integer a, this one, and the next one is so I'll give output that is system dot out dot println. So within this integer data. Okay, this is the text I'm giving. So next is this method accepts a string object. Okay, so how we can do it? So again, I'm creating one more method with the same name. Okay, but what happened is here I'm going to change this to be string A, and this gonna be string data. And I'm going to call this one. So how can I call this? Just give a display of some number, display of some string. Let's run this. So here you can see both the information has been given the output. The first one is we are changing the parameters. Here we are changing the data type. Okay. So, so this is how it will be. So next one is we'll understand what is Java constructor. Okay. So Java constructor is nothing but is similar to a method. Okay, similar to a method that is invoked when an object of the class is created. Okay, so when an object of the class is created, then we can so the method so similar to the method that is involved when object of the class is created. So the constructor has the same name as that of the class and does not have a return type. So this you should remember. Okay, what is it has the same name as that of class, the first point, and does not have any return type. Okay. For example, so I have a class called class test. This is my class. What I'm trying to do is, so within this, I'm creating a constructor. So test of. This is a constructor body. Okay. So this that is test constructor. It has the same name as that of the class, and it doesn't have any return type. It doesn't have any integer, float, or something like that. Okay. So we'll see some example for this Java constructor. So here, so let it be a class and just okay, let it be with this public static element. So later we'll do this. First one is I'm creating a field that is private string name. Okay, and next is I'm creating a constructor. So here in the constructor I have a main method. Sorry, that is constructor means I should have the same class name, right? So just give here. Okay, so you can give any name here. Okay, so but the class name and the constructor name should be similar. And system dot out dot println. So here you can mention something. So example constructor hold. Okay, and next I'm giving a name, some name I'm giving equals to. Okay. So this is the constructor. I have not given any return type. Okay. So just come to the main method. So here we are going to, that is constructor is invoked while creating an object of the constructor class. Okay. So this constructor is invoked when it get invoked. So while creating the objects, whenever if you are creating an object, then it will be invoked. Okay. So what is a, constructor that is class name? Let's put it here. And I'm giving a name as A is equals to new constructor of. So it has been invoked. So whatever the content, it is invoked. So now what I will do is system. I'm trying to print the value. So println println. So inside this, I'm giving some text. Okay. So here the name is. So just put it in the double quotes. So the strings which is going to display, that is, we need to mention within a double quotes. Otherwise, you can go with the other the variables and the objects should be mentioned in a without a string, that is without double quotes. So here the what is the object A, and I'm calling this field. The field is name. So A dot. Now we'll run this. So is there any error? Yeah. It's a name or similar. I think yeah. So I'm getting. Okay. So the first one is constructor is called, the name is welcome. So this is how it will be. And here also we have some two things. One is types of constructor. Okay. The first one is no arguments constructor, and the second one is parameterized constructor. The last one is the default constructor. Okay. So first one is Java, that is no argument constructors. How we can do that? So to create this no argument constructor, to create this example is the first one is you need to mention so private constructor of, and then inside you can mention the body of the constructor. So what is called no argument means there will be no arguments within this one. Okay. And so example, already we come across with the example. uh, but I'll go with another one more example. So class. So here I will have some field that is integer I. Okay. So now I'm going to create a constructor without parameter. So constructor with no parameter. So we'll create private main of. So this is a private, and I'm giving a name as, sorry, what is name? It is constructor arguments. Okay, I'm just giving the same name. Now, what is the field I've given? Just I'm giving a definition here. So I is equals to 5. Okay, so without no parameters, and I'm trying to execute this one. So in this constructor is called. Okay. And the next one is I'm creating one more class, that is constructor. So how will you call the constructor? Using the class name. Okay. And I'm creating that is object name. So new of, and here I will give system dot out dot println, mentioning some value. So value of I plus a dot the output. So here you can see the value. And next one is we'll see without, that is with the parameterized constructors. How we can pass the value. And the last one is default constructor. Give me 1 minute. Okay, so next is we'll see what is parameterized constructor. So how we can create the parameterized constructor. So so the basic example is let me delete this. So I'll rename this. Okay, this is a parameterized constructor. So now what I will do is just go here and have a return type. So return type is I'm giving a string and this is going to be a languages. Okay. So string and this is a variable name. So now the second thing is I will create a constructor. So constructor accepting a single value. First one is what is the the constructor class name? That's going to be a constructor here, right? So just create of. So within this, I'm going to give the value. What it is? So string lang. Okay. So now next I'm assigning a languages is equivalent to language. Okay. And the output should be printed like this system dot out dot println. So languages programming language like this. I'm just giving some text. Okay. So this is my variable. Okay. So what is the error? I'm giving semicolon. So the next one is I'm creating a public static void. Okay. So public static void main. Here I'm giving a string arguments of. So within this first thing is I'm going to call the constructor by passing a single value. Okay. The first one is call the constructor by calling a single value. So how we can call that using this one. How it has been called. So using this thing, right? To mention. So what is the variable name? I'm giving a variable name is a and new. And again this inside this I'm going to give some text. Okay. So let's take example Java. Semicolon. Just copy this. I'm going to apply it for some 3 times. I'm going to import some 3 names. Then I'm giving Python and C. Okay. So there's a error. Okay, local variable should be different, right? Because these are all different. So I'm just creating a different variable. So now we have created. So just we'll check. So here you can see all the value has been printed. So this is how the parameterized value will be defined. So next I will create one more class. So this class is going to be a default parameter. Default constructor. So here I have one class name. Okay. So in this place, I'm going to create a default. So what is default contact constructor is if you do not create any constructor, okay, the Java compiler automatically creates a no argument constructor during the execution of program. The this constructor is called as a default constructor. Okay, we are not going to create any constructor, but defaultly it will create a constructor. So that is called as default constructor. So let's see the simple example. So integer a, boolean b. So inside this, it's a default constructor. What I'm going to do, see here, just copy this. A, okay, here I'm going to print system dot out dot println. So default value. And the next thing is just copy this. Here I'm giving a value as a equals to uh, plus is a object name it is. So I'll change this object to be b c. Okay. So c dot a, and then here I just want to print c dot. So here you can see some default values that is just printed what you have given here. That's it. So we don't get any value because we have not given or any values here, right? So this is called as a default constructor. So we also have one more thing called as a constructor overloading in Java. So we'll see that. So constructor, we know what is overloading, right? So now we'll see what is constructor overloading. Remove this. So here giving a data type that is string. Language. Okay. So here I will have a constructor with no parameter. A constructor with no parameters. I'm not going to give any parameter here. So main of. Next one is I'll be having a single parameter. So this is we have done it for the normal method overloading, but here we are doing it for a constructor. Okay, so parameter. So here I'm giving a main of. Okay. So this is how it will be. So in this main of, so I'm going to fetch the value using this language equals to Java. Okay. And here I'm going to mention some parameter here, string language. So here, so this dot language equals to language. And the next thing is I'm creating a normal method that is public void get name. So here I'm just going to print some values. So system dot out dot println. I need this dot language to be printed. So in the public static void main, I'm going to call all these things. Okay. So we can do this. Just go here. So see, first one is without parameter. The second one is with parameter, which we already know. We have done in the method overloading, right? The same concept, but we are doing it in the constructor. Okay, so here arguments of. So in this place, I'm going to call constructor with no parameter. First one is I'm using the class name. Okay, I'm sorry. So here a variable a, so new. I'm giving some name here. Okay, and next one is I'm just going to call this a dot. What is the method name? It is get name of. So this is the same method which I'm going to apply and call it the two constructors. Okay, so object a dot. The first one is you are creating this variable. Okay, the second one is using some parameters. So just copy this. It's going to be empty here, right? So one with the parameters and without parameters, right? So here I don't have anything and here I have something. So a dot, what is the name? So get name of. Here I'll change the way things to be b, and here it is b dot get name of. What is the error? Duplicate the local variable. So here you can see Java and Python. So this goes here and it will print Java, and this one will print the Python. Okay. So and then the next very important thing is Java string. So we'll see what is Java string. So first thing is how we can create a sequence of characters and how we'll print it. First one is create a string. So to create a string, so what we'll do is you need to use the data type and the variable name, okay, and that is identifier, and giving something like this Java. Okay, so here we have created a string variable named type. Okay, and the variable is initialized with the string Java output. So now we'll simply print. So I think you guys already know how to print a string, but the basics you must know. So create one class. I'm giving a string method. Click on this and click finish. So here, so create strings. First one is string, and I'm giving a variable name a, and the value is Java. And again, string data types, I'm giving a variable as b, Python, string c is equals to some value, so js. So like this, I have given some string. So now I'm going to print this output. How will I print this? So very simple. System dot out dot println. Here you'll give the variable name. That's it. Just copy, or here itself you can give. How we can concatenate? Just you need to keep plus and some space plus. Here I can add b plus then plus b plus space of. Okay, so let's see the output. Okay, so this is how the output is printed. So this is called a very string method. And we have some string operation, that is the different types of predefined methods. We'll see how we can do it. Okay, the first thing is how we can find the length of a method. Here you need to mention dot leg lenght of. So if you run this, you can see the integer. So how many, what are the lengths? So 1, 2, 3, and 4. For Python, if you want to find the Python length, so dot lenght of. Let's again run this. It is it is 6. Okay, like this you can find the length. So the next one is join the two Java strings. So how we can concatenate it? So you can use two things. One we have already done. You can use plus symbol, or otherwise just copy this. So you can use a concat method. Okay, just remove all these. You can use dot concat of b comma c. Try this. So here you can see Java, Python. So you can give a method, or you can go with a plus signature. Okay. And to compare the two strings, how we can compare two strings? So using the method. So let's see what is a method to compare. If I have this C to be a Java, okay, and I'm just going to compare whether these two things are equal or not. Okay, for that we need to mention equal method. Just copy this. So here the method is equals, and this. So here you can see it is false, but if I give C, then what happens? It shows true. Okay, so this is how we'll be comparing. And what is called escape character in Java string. So escape character means is used to escape some of the characters present inside a string. Suppose we need to include some double quotes inside a string, so how we can do that? Okay, so we'll see. So let's take for an example. I have this content. Okay, so Java is a programming language, like this I have. So I want this, programming language to be double coded. So we can do this. If I give like this, what happens is it get confused. What is the thing? So it's showing some error, right? So what is error? syntax error on the token programming, invalid assessment operator. So for that, you need to use the escape character, that is hash. So before using this double quotes, you need to mention that, so the error will not be there. If I try to print this, so here you can see a Java is a programming language, double quotes has been mentioned. Next is Java strings are immutable. So immutable means this is an interview question. Okay, Java string is it or immutable? So immutable means once we create a string, we cannot change that string for any cost. Okay. To understand it more deeply, so consider this example. Okay. So here, for example, I have created a string variable, right? So a is equal to Java. So now suppose we want to change the string, add another string to the previous string example. So what we can do? So we can go with the concat. Okay. So here we are using a concat method to add the string word. So it looks like we are able to change the value of the previous string. So however, this is not true. So here is what happened. Okay. So in JVM, so what happened is Java virtual machine. So in JVM, takes the first string, and creates a new string by adding to the first string. Okay. And then assign the new string. Finally, it is unchanged. Okay. So this is what it is happening. So to creating a string using a new keyword, if you're if you have created a new string using a new keyword, then what happens? So we have string in Java or an object. Okay, so that is called as an object. So we can create a strings using a new keyword as well. For example, like uh, this one. So one minute. Okay, 5 minutes I'll tell you. So we can also create a string using a thing. So how we can create a, see here. String, giving a variable name, a new, a string of some name, Java. So like this, I'm giving. Okay. So in this example, we have created a string name using a new keyword. So when we create a string object, okay, the string constructor is invoked. So when we create a string object, if I create this, a string constructor is invoked. So to create a Java string using a new keyword, so how we can create it? So same as this, there is no different. So create a string using a literals versus new keywords. How we can do that? So while creating a string using a string literal. So string literal is nothing but this one. So this is called as a string literal. But string, I'm giving some d variable equals to a new operator. Okay. And a string of. So like this I'm creating. Okay, so there are two different things. So using a new keyword, the another one is using a literal. Okay, so here we are directly providing the values, right? The first one. So the compiler first check the string pool to see if the string is already exit. So whether it will check whether it is already exit or not. The string is already exits, the new string is not created. So here will not be able to create a new string if the string is already exited. So instead the new reference example points to be already exited string. So if the string does not exit the new string, the Java is created. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell is, so if you create this one, if it is already exit, the new reference will be created for this one. But while I'm creating this particular thing, so example, I'm giving a value here as Java. If I do this, the value of the string is not directly provided, right? So hence a new Java string is created even though the Java is already present inside the memory pool. Okay, so just understand what is immutable and mutable and what is string literal and how we can create a thing using a new keyword. Okay, and what are the methods we have? There are so many methods as we seen, like length concat equals, like that we have so many methods. So let's discuss. And so we also need to complete the modifiers. So tomorrow class, most probably I'll complete the modifiers, keywords, and then also exceptions. Okay, if I complete that, we'll move on to the JSP and servlets. Okay, I hope I have completed inheritance for you, right? Yes or no?